Hello, my friends, and welcome to episode 17 of the Kiss Army Nation podcast. I am your host, Pasquale Vari, and I am joined by my co-host, Claudio Spira.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again. Glad to be here.
So I was looking at some of the feedback on our YouTube channel from the panel discussion episode on tribute bands, and I came across this really long comment. Here's a small excerpt. If he didn't do it back then I'm damn sure not going to cheapen my act or play into what people see and hear now simply because it's Gene. No, again, it's a role set in an era. Stick to how it was, and if I don't, then I'm lying to the audience and myself. And I read this, I go, wow, this is so cool. I just love that quote. And I told myself, we have to have this guy on the show. Well, guess what? We have with us today the man behind that quote and so many others, Mr. Robert Bentley.
Yeah, Robert. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Robert, before we get into your thinking behind that quote and the other comments that you made on the channel, we would like to know your origin story. So how did you get into Kiss, my friend?
All righty. Somewhere during I was in the fifth grade. And one of my best friends in school was a guy named Paul Bolin. And one day we were sitting in class and, back then, they had the rock magazines. I can't remember all of the names, Circus, Cream, Rockstar, Rock, and there's just several different ones. But he was reading one. And at this time, I remember I had seen Kiss's picture in our showcase. They were like playing, this was back in the early days. This is like 75. Oh, wow. Okay. 75. So and I remember seeing it, but I didn't really think much about it. But anyways, I happened to turn my head and I saw the cover of the magazine and it had Gene on the front. And he had obviously been spitting blood. And I'm going to take this is from the Alive era because the spotlight was blue and, I could see the blood and all of that. And I thought he was reading a horror magazine like Starlord or Monster magazine. I was like, what in the world is that? So he stops for me and looks at the cover. He goes, oh, it's a band called Kiss. And I was like, can I see that? So he started thumbing through the pages to show me pictures. And I'm like, whoa, that is incredible. And he ended up letting me keep the magazine.
Okay.
So I took it home and I'm thumbing through the pictures and I'm showing my brother, these pictures of this band, this insane looking band. And, we thought P-Funk, back in the day was something, but wow, this was something else.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And I remember Recess, he had cut out like, Peter Criss's face design, Paul's design, Gene's design, and we stuck masking tape onto the back and we stuck them on our faces and, ran around the play yard like, we were Kiss and holding sticks. And I didn't know anything about the music or anything else. We were just jumping up and down, yelling rock and roll, rock and roll. And we used to have a music appreciation day where we could bring an album to school and, to our music class and play it. He brought in Destroyer.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So he says, that band Kiss, he goes, this is what they sound like. And, she let him, play the album. And he played, of course, obviously Detroit Rock City. And I'm just floored. I mean, I thought Alice Cooper, was something. Nah, and I'm trying to look at these guys and trying to imagine this. And lo and behold, he gives me the album after school. So there's my first introduction to Kiss and their music. Once I got home and got to really listen to it as I'm thumbing through my pictures, that was it. It was all about Kiss after that. I'm starting to draw Kiss and just everything. To me, Kiss was everything.
Food for life.
I related everything to Kiss. I could talk about a hamburger, and trust me, I can find some way to relate that hamburger to Kiss.
There's always a way. Beautiful. Thank you.
So we talked before the show, and you mentioned that Creatures was your first and most memorable show. Tell us about that experience.
Well, having missed Kiss, I don't know how many times in concert, and my mom was one of those, what in blazes is that? No, not in my house, especially black family, black religious family. Yeah, you're not bringing that into the house. But I managed to get Kiss in the house either way it went. She just let it go. But as far as the concerts, she wasn't having it. So at this point, I'm 16, 17 years old. So, and I would go out and do a little hustle, and do a little work. And tickets were only $10.50. It doesn't sound like much back then, but in 1983, to get $10.50, that's like asking your parents for $100 now.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
Right. So, people go, well, it was cheap back then. Yeah, but you got to think about the cost of living and how much people were making in wages. So sounds cheap, but it's not as cheap as you think. So I got a ticket, and my little brother and I, he's not biologically my little brother, but I've known him since we were 13 years old. And, if you saw me, you saw him. So he's my little brother. And, we were both Kiss fans. And how he and I met also has to do with Kiss. And our bond is not like any bond I've ever known between anybody, whether siblings or not. But we got tickets, and I almost didn't, make the money to get it, but I got the money to get it, got the ticket. And show day, the night before the show, it was like Christmas. I couldn't sleep. I'm thinking, what? I could feel it in the air that, Kiss is going to be in my town. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, Eric Carr. I didn't know about Vinny then. Had no idea about him. So the day comes, and crazy enough, it was Super Bowl Sunday. Our show was Super Bowl Sunday. And I remember just, I walked all the way from where I live to downtown to get to the auditorium. I don't even know how many miles that was, but I walked it. And I just saw this long line. I'm thinking, yeah. And back then, this was general admission, so there were no seats on the floor. And I saw my little brother. My little brother, he was always known for being up front, at any concert, whether it was Blue Oyster Cult, Ted Nugent, whoever. Chris was always the first person right there at the door. So he sees me, and he screams for me. So I run up to him, and not that this matters, but my little brother is a white guy. So back then, and the reason I say that is because back then, you didn't meet a lot of black people who were into rock, or if they were, they didn't really say much about it, especially here in the South. So, Chris sees me, he hollers for me, and I see him, and, I run up to where he's at, and everybody's looking like, okay, who's this black dude?
Right.
And, he introduced me to the people he's standing with, and we make friends. And one thing I learned about the Kiss family back then, you met a Kiss fan, you're automatically family. You might not know each other, might kind of be a little leery of each other from beginning, but once you start talking Kiss, you're family. You're family. So, now we're getting everybody to sing Kiss songs, and, we can hear it all the way around. We're all singing, Kiss songs, and the doors open, and this is my first rock concert. So I'm just, because the first show I saw was the Jacksons, not a rock show, but still it was a concert, but a rock concert, different. So we go in, I see the t-shirts hanging, the posters and the tour books, and Chris goes, we can get one of those later. We need to be down on the floor up front. And I remember as we were walking through the hall, at the top part, I could look down and see the seating and the steps that lead down to the floor. And I could see the big black curtain, and you could see just the very top of the Kiss logo. And I'm like, wow, that's their Kiss sign. It's them. Now, I couldn't see the stage because they had a black curtain covering everything. But you could see the tank turret sticking out because there was no way for the curtain to cover that.
Right.
And I remember reading that, they were going to have a tank on stage. So I'm trying to figure out, but I see the tank thing. I'm thinking, how in the world they got a tank? So anyways, we get down, there's a mass of people, and we are right against the barricade. I mean, we stuck our arms out, our hands touched. We laid our hands on Kiss's stage. That's how close we were.
Wow.
So Night Ranger was the opening act. And all I'm thinking is, please get off the stage. Please get off the stage. I want to see Kiss. I want to see Kiss.
That's right.
The coolest thing that Jack Blaze did, they did for their encore, he left the stage for a minute, and he comes back and he has on jeans boots. And I'm just like, oh my God, those are jeans boots. He's got on jeans boots. Okay, well, they're gone now. Great. So, we're modeling around and we're talking, and the house lights dim, and there's this rumble that just shook the entire place. And I remember Chris just grabbing my arm, and we're just locked on to people because it was like an earthquake. And, you get the announcement, all right, Nashville, you wanted the best. You got the best, the hottest band in the world, Kiss. And they just came running out. Paul from, I guess, his stage left, but all right, Gene creeps, he creeps and skims his way out to the stage, and they look like giants. Now, the funny thing is I'm going to backtrack for a second. As we were standing outside waiting to get in, 4 limos, pull around, the back where we were at, and they're going, to the entrance, and we see their hands sticking out through the window, waving at everybody. And I heard somebody say, well, Ace isn't going to be here tonight. They got some guy named Vinny that's playing.
Oh,
Ace isn't going to, like, wait a minute, hold on, say that again? And the guy was like, yeah, man, Ace was in that car accident, man, so he can't play. So they got a roadie named Vinny that's, standing in to play his guitar stuff. So I'm expecting to see some roadie, some big dude in a T-shirt and jeans. Nah, out walks this dude with an ankh on his face, and I'm like, okay, you're not Ace, but you're ripping on that guitar, man. So I became a Vinny fan, right then and there. I had no issue with Vinny. I liked Ace, but this dude, man, he's like Eddie Van Halen plus.
Hey, but it was a killer, man.
But he's playing with Kiss, and you got Eric Carr back on the drums. I'm like, this is great. But it was loud, and the smoke and the concussion bombs and the flames. Wow, I will never ever forget that. And the many times, that the guys, would look right down in Chris and I's direction and make eye contact. I'm thinking, I'm looking at Gene stuck his tongue out at me. That's Gene Simmons. Man, I talked about that for forever.
It's funny that Rob, as you revisit, this first show, your face, your eyes show still, the emotion as if you're still there. Man, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, awesome. I was. It changed me.
And Rob, another from our discussion we had before. So another great memory is when you met Paul and Eric Carr. Okay.
Yes.
So how, when, and how did that happen?
As we were talking with Chris, another friend of mine from school, who was a good few feet and around, spotted me. So he called to me. So I said, "Hey, Harvey, come here. I want to introduce you to somebody." And as we're talking, we're kind of like back around the wrap bend of the building. There's 2 big glass double doors. And we saw Eric walking with his drum tech, and they had his kit on a rolling cart. It was already set up, but it was on a big, huge cart. So we all run to the door, and we're screaming Eric's name and, trying to get a good look at him and, his drum kit and all that. Eric runs over to the door, and Eric pushes the door open. So about a good 16 of us got in.
Wow.
So we're now walking the hallway with Eric as, they're taking his kit, to put on the lift to be taken to the stage. And Eric is just walking and talking to us all like he grew up in our neighborhood and went to school with us, and was
seriously, oh my God,
humble and just so down to earth. And I remember I had this a button on, a Kiss button on, from the Animalized cover, and he goes, "Oh man, cool pen." He goes, "I like that guy right there, that guy with all the hair." He goes, "I like that guy. Something familiar about him." I'm like, "Oh my God, Eric Carr's looking at my pen." And it was great. And we shook hands and, got to speak. He didn't get to speak to everybody, but he got a chance for the most of us to speak to him, and talk to him. And that was great. And I told him, I said, this guy said he's just not learning about you guys. This is going to be his first Kiss concert. And he goes, oh, he goes, pleasure to meet you. He goes, hope you have a great time. He goes, I hope I don't mess up.
That's awesome.
And meeting Paul Stanley, that was in 98. He was doing his promotional, I guess, solo tour thing, just going around and meeting people, because he had his Washburn guitar had just come out. So, he was promoting that.
You mean 89? 89?
98.
98? Okay.
98. So he was at Mars Music. And
okay.
At this time, I'm also a detail artist, and I had done this, when I say huge airbrush picture of Paul Stanley on the Love Gun stage. I'm sure you've seen the pictures. One where he's got his guitar kind of set between his legs, and he's kind of like stooped down, but he's kind of cocked back, and you can see his guitar at an angle. And
yeah.
Like me, I did a huge airbrush picture of that.
Okay.
So I'm standing in line, and I'm outside of the room that Paul is in, but I'm in this huge line. And this couple turns around and they see the picture, and they go, man, he goes, you need to get in front of us because Paul needs to see this. He goes, if you don't get in there with this, he goes, that would be a shame. I'm like, are you sure? He goes, yeah. He goes, get in front of us. So they let me in front of them. So after we made our way to the room, I'm now at the back end of the room. And I see Paul at a table, signing autographs and whatnot. And he had a couple of people of his entourage with him. One of them tapped him on the shoulder and pointed back towards me. And Paul, he's signing something. He looks up and he gets this big grin on his face, and puts his head back down and finished writing. So finally, I make it up there, and and it's crazy because I'm thinking Paul Stanley is 6 foot tall, but to stand next to him, I was like, he doesn't look 6 foot tall. Okay. I'm thinking all this crazy stuff. I'm looking at the rose tattoo, going, yep. That's really Paul. That's his rose tattoo. I'm looking at his nose. It's like I'm a detail artist, so I study eye shape and nose shape and the shape of your chin, your cheeks, your eyebrows, your everything. And I go, yep, that's Paul's nose.
That's the real Paul.
I'm like, I never noticed that Paul had freckles on his nose. Like, Paul's got freckles. So, I'm looking at all this stuff, and it's not once going, man, that's Paul Stanley. I'm just looking and going, wow, that's okay. Yeah, that's him. That's really Paul.
I love it.
He listened and he goes, man, I thought this was a big blown up photograph. He goes, did you do this? I said, yeah. I said, I know you're an artist too. And I said, this is airbrush mixed with pen and ink and acrylic paint and color pencil. And then he goes, man, this is great. He goes, can I sign it? I'm like, yes, please. Yes,
would you mind?
Do. So he grabs one end of it by the corners, holding it up, and I'm on the other. And the picture got taken for we used to have a local Kiss fan magazine that was called Kissaholics back in the day. And that picture wound up in that magazine. I never got to see it, but a friend of mine told me that, it's like, hey, man, there's a picture of you and Paul Stanley holding up a picture, man. I was like, yeah. I'd done a picture and he autographed it. I was like, cool. And I asked him if he could get me a copy of it, but he said sure, and I never saw that guy again. You
never got it.
Yeah,
okay.
I never got to see that.
Wow, good story, man.
That was that. It was beautiful. Crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. Robert, I have to tell you, I am totally engrossed in your stories. I feel like I'm back there experiencing what you're experiencing through your eyes.
Yeah.
I love the way you're telling these stories. I have goosebumps. It's truly incredible.
That's awesome, dude. Thank you.
It is.
Wow. You're absolutely welcome. And I'm looking forward to the next one because we talked before the show and you said you have a funny story about Bruce Kulick.
Oh, yes. Oh, you're going to love this one.
Let's go.
This one is great. Okie dokie. Okay, this one, you're gonna love this, man.
You're awesome, Bob.
I'm married, and this is around 97. Yes, it was definitely 97. Because as a matter of fact, he was working with Union then, Karabi, and he had the band Union. I am working at a thrift shop. I'm the guy who puts out electronics, furniture, toys, all that kind of stuff. I used to keep a picture of some of my airbrush work tacked up on my wall, in my little workspace. And I would come home from work, and my wife would tell me, said, well, I got a call from a guy looking for some guy named Edwin. And he goes, something about a guitar or something. I don't know. She goes, but, I told him wrong number. I said, okay. So a few more days go by. I come home from work. She tells me again, this guy calls for this guy named Edwin. I tell him, sorry, sir, you have the wrong number. So he says, okay, ma'am, I'm sorry to mean to disturb you. I said, okay. This happens a third time.
Hey, boy.
She goes, I don't know who this guy is. Do you know somebody named Edwin? Do you know anybody who does guitar work? I said, no, honey, I don't. Now this is probably been about a month of this now. Now, here I am at work. This guy walks in, and he worked at a shop called Dangerous Threads. They supplied a lot of clothes for local musicians and, the kind of stage wear type stuff. I gotten to know the owner a few years ago, but they had since then had moved from one location to an area downtown. This particular guy who is now working for them, I don't remember what he was in the shop for, but he was looking for something, but he picked his head into my work area and, was asking me some questions, and he saw the pictures of Kiss. And he said, hey, look, man, I work at Dangerous Threads downtown. I go, Dangerous Threads? I go, oh, so dude, I used to shop there before I got my stage clothes from my band. So does Julio still work there? He goes, yeah, it's Julio. And he goes, yeah, he's still works there, man. I go, man, well, tell him Bob said hi, man. So he's looking at the pictures. He goes, airbrush? I said, yeah. He goes, man, we're looking for somebody that can, do some airbrush, man, for maybe like, some leather jackets, man, or some jean jackets or some jeans, something really hip and cool. I go, yeah, man, let's talk. And he goes, man, I noticed your Kiss stuff, man. You're really into Kiss? And I'm like, yeah, man, I love Kiss. He goes, man, tell you what, because Bruce Kulick, man, is going to be in, man, in a couple of weeks, man. Mind if I show him these pictures? Yeah, sure, take whatever you want. So he goes, I'll bring them back to you. Like, all right, great. So this guy now has, 2 pictures of some artwork I did. Now, we're going back home again. This is going to flip-flop between the two because both of these are going to coincide with each other, and you're gonna hear why. This is absolutely crazy. So now I'm at home. She says, so I'm talking to my wife. She goes, oh. She goes, I get another call for this Edwin guy again. And by this point, she is gritting her teeth and she is no longer happy. She goes, well, now some woman is calling for Edwin. She goes, and I'm going to hold out the expletives because she used some harsh language. She goes, I don't know who this woman is, but I told her, look, I am tired of you all calling my house looking for some man that we don't know. Don't call my house again. And just went off on her. And the woman was very, very kind. She goes, I am so sorry to bother you, Miss Dollard. She goes, but my husband, Bruce Kulick, played for Kiss.
No way. No way.
And Edwin is, when he's in Nashville, that's his go-to guitar guy. And my wife goes, oh my God. She goes, ma'am, I'm sorry. She goes, I am so sorry. She goes, my husband, she goes, I don't know Bruce personally, but I know who Bruce is because my husband kissed this, Kiss that, James this, Paul this, Bruce this, Eric this, Kiss that. She goes, I am so sorry. She goes, by the time of their conversation, she goes, she and Bruce's then girl were very, very good friends and have become very well acquainted. So she told her that she would let me know, and that if I knew of anybody in our Kiss circle who knows how to get a hold of Edwin, we will get it along back to me. I'll get it back to her, and she'll get it back to Bruce's wife.
God.
So now, a few days later, I'm back at work. this guy comes in again, the guy that took the pictures and, took him into a shop. He brings into me a Union CD, a Union sticker, and a Union poster, all autographed by Bruce.
Oh, wow, by Bruce. Oh, boy.
Great, right?
Wow.
Story's not over yet. Now, months later, we have a Kiss Expo. It's the last, and unbeknown to me, it's the last Kiss Expo that I've ever known Kiss to have, other than, when Kiss did their official Kiss Expo and brought it, around to the people.
The convention,
as far as our own convention and expo, this was the last one that they did. And Bruce and Eric Singer were the guests.
Uh-huh.
So I met Singer and I got to get his autograph and talk to him. Great guy. And I meet, and Bruce is there and he does a Q&A and all that. And I'm kind of grinning and I'm thinking, I know some stuff about you. I go to the restroom, I'm standing at a stall, somebody walks in and next standing to the stall to me is Bruce Kulick.
Wow.
I'm trying not to look over at the guy because I sure don't want this to be an awkward moment, but I'm thinking, wow, I'm standing here, man, standing next to Bruce, taking a whiz. Like, wow, what are the chances of that? So, I wash my hands and I leave, and I don't want this to be odd and feel like I'm a stalker, but I wait outside the door for him to come out. And Bruce comes out, and I kind of walk up beside him real quick. I'm like, Bruce, nice to meet you. He says, I've been wanting to meet you for a while. And he just, kind of shakes his head and shakes my hand. And I can kind of feel like, he's about to walk off. Nice to meet you, but, I'm headed this way. I go, oh, by the way, my wife, did you get the apology from my wife to your wife? And his eyes got real big. And I go, yeah. I go, the house that you all kept calling looking for Edwin, that was my house. And he just cracks up. And he goes, I am so sorry. He goes, what is your name again? And
my God.
We're now walking and talking. We talk about the whole incident, and he eventually found Edwin. He found him.
He found it finally.
But he goes, I could tell your wife was really starting to get unraveled by my constant calling. He goes, but I couldn't find him. I didn't know that he had changed his number in his location, and I didn't want to bother her again. So I set my girlfriend up to call and ask for me because I just had to find this guy's his location. And I told him, and I also said, the pictures that you autographed, the Union CD and the sticker, then
that's me. That's right.
I was like, I'm the one who did that.
And
he's like, oh, he goes, we just have so much to talk about now, don't we? So we just kind of snuck off to the side, man, like kind of the backside of the stage where he was doing his Q&A, and we just sat there and just talked.
Seriously? Oh my God.
We talked about guitars, cars. He is knowledgeable about cars. And just great. And it went from, me looking at him as, I saw you on the Animalized tour to, another fellow musician who, was giving me a nice big inside scoop on not only, Kiss, how Kiss runs, but the industry itself. And just great. It was great. So yeah, that was my run-in with Bruce.
Awesome story, man. Well,
Nice.
the narrative is so amazing. Hey, Bob, how did your love for Kiss then lead to the formation of your tribute band? So I know that you've had some experiences, attending expos, and which ones did you attend, and how was the fan reaction to you? So now we're getting into the tribute stuff. So how did you end up doing that? So how did that happen?
Well, how I got into the whole Kiss thing is that the drummer that was for Hotter Than Hell, he happened to see my pictures, and he hit me up and told me, there's some tweaking that could be fixed on your makeup and whatnot, but I may have some spots open, for you to do a stand-in, if you're available. So I told him, yeah, sure. And one day he called me up, and sure enough, he had an opening, and he's the reason I got my feet wet. He gave me my first shot to step out as Gene, and I wasn't nervous or anything. I think by this point, I had done so many of my own band shows, but my Gene influence came out. The people kept asking me, you got to be a Gene Simmons fan because your moves, are like Gene back in the day.
He was so much into you. That's right, exactly.
Right, because of him being such a big influence. So Steve helped me get out there and do that. And then once I did that, all of a sudden, I was getting hit from everybody and their mother. Hey man, my Gene can't make it, man. Think you can come in, man, and fill in? Because man, dude, you look just like Gene. You act just like Gene. So that's how I got into that. Doing the expos, it's pretty much like it's like doing a tribute show, really. Except minus I'm not on stage playing. People will come up to me and either talk to me or treat me like I am Gene. Which to me is it's funny. I mean, at the same time, it's also a compliment.
Yeah, of course.
Again, because I've watched a lot of tribute bands, and I'm watching them like, well, you're looking like you're wanting to be vintage Gene, but your mannerism, you're smiling too much. You seem as happy as a clown. You're not scary. You're not grimacing. You're not stalking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're standing there. If not to knock anybody, but as a tribute artist, there's a difference between a cover band and a tribute band. Cover band, we're just going to play you all those songs. To me, a tribute band, and of course, in the word tribute, there's a lot of variables to that, because a tribute, you can go from one spectrum to another spectrum, just cover it all. That's a tribute.
Sure.
But my thing is I want to take, people to 1976, for those who didn't get to see, what Kiss was like or what Gene was like in 1976. Then I want to show you what Gene was like. I want to show you, what it was to thrill your mom and dad so much to become such a Kiss fan. And if you didn't see them back then, or you were, too young, and so now I'll give you that opportunity. And for those who did get to see them, or my age, I want to take you back to those good old days, and take you back home. One of the last shows that I'd done, this guy, comes up to me, and he's literally crying, and he's telling me that his introduction to seeing Kiss was the Destroyer tour that his dad took him to see, and that was a memorable moment for him. But his dad has long since passed. And he says, man, he goes, your movements, your mannerisms, your charisma, everything about you was what I saw then. He goes, and it made me think of my dad. He goes, thank you. I needed that. So
that's the biggest compliment that someone can give you, huh? So
and to me, that is the whole reason I do this. It's not to say to other tribute bands or people who get into other tribute bands, especially those bands that. And I'm not trying to be mean, because this is a very hard thing to do, and not everybody can do it. Just because you can play guitar, play bass, drums, whatever, and do Kiss songs, that's great. So can a cover band.
Yeah.
But to step on stage and say, we're going to give you the ultimate recreation of Kiss. Okay, you put that out there, not me. So here's what I'm going to expect of you then, because you said recreation, which means you're going to recreate their moves, their mannerisms, Paul's banter, everything. You're going to deliver that to me, right? This $8, $20, $12, whatever I'm paying, that's what I'm going to get, right? Oh, I didn't get that. I got you guys and, what is that? Oh, a portable amp, and what's that bass? Oh, okay, that's right, okay, right. Oh, and God, you're not even moving. You're not even, are you blinking? Like, okay, yeah, recreation? No, nope. And, and I read people's comments. Oh, they sound and look just like Kiss. I want to pop up a video so bad. It goes, this is Kiss. This is what you saw. You gonna tell me that was Kiss?
So Bob, I'm starting to understand your passionate response to our last panel discussion that we did on tribute bands. And I want to quote something you said.
Sure.
One thing very well said, because you said that there are certain things in that discussion that you totally disagree with. But you did say the following. One thing very well said, actors. Yes, that's the best way and the way I look at what I do. I'm playing a character of a character or a persona.
Right.
Now, from that particular quote, is that what you're talking about, the difference between a tribute band and a cover band?
Yes. Yes. Point on. Point on. I know that not everybody can, have a custom LeBeau bass made, that Gene had back in the day. There's actually a guy who can actually make you one of those. It's a little costly, but I know a lot of guys, again, they'll have on the Destroyer outfit, Love Gun, whatever, but you're playing an axe bass, you're playing a Punisher, and you're using a wireless. Again, I am a hardcore, I'm a stickler for details and things to be, if you're going to claim as was or want to present something to me as it was, then I'm looking at small things like that. So for me, again, it's acting. If this is 76, then I need to present 76, not 2021. Yeah. After I spit blood, there's not going to be, oh yeah. It's not going to be any, because Gene didn't do that. He didn't. Once he got done, he'd stand, he'd look at everybody. You see him breathing heavy, and he looks at you like he wants to just devour the entire audience. There is no, let me hear you. No, once you do all that, you're not the demon anymore. The demon was scary. He stalked the stage. If he came to the front of the stage, you backed up because you were afraid he was going to jump off the stage and eat you. The way he crept around the stage, everything I do, and the look of my armor, even my bass, all geared to look 1976.
All right, so Bob, this is interesting because here's another quote where you said the following. Would you like to see a movie that is set in the era of the 70s, but the cars, the clothes, the hairstyles, and the expressions are all what you see today? But would you buy that movie that takes place in the 70s? Hell no, you wouldn't. So why buy into acts that want to look like vintage Kiss, but give you 2021 Kiss? Now, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Now, wasn't the reunion tour trying to do exactly that? The Kiss of today trying to bring back the Kiss of the 70s? Isn't a tribute band about experiencing the total Kiss experience? So is it okay in that case for a tribute band who focused on the 70s to do some stuff from the 80s, some stuff from the 90s, some stuff in the present? What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I also, again, keep in mind to myself the word tribute. So for those acts, if you want to go from 1974 all the way to, something off of Sonic Boom and Monster, go for it. Absolutely, because you're a tribute act. You're paying tribute to the whole 9 yards. And to me, that is awesome. That's exactly pretty much what Kiss did when they did the reunion tour. They came back with the Love Gun look, but spanning their all through their eras.
Right.
So my point is that with the other bands is I expect a lot of bands to do that, but there are some bands who they're giving you the image and giving you the idea that they are set in a particular era, and that's what they're wanting to present to you. But what they offer you is not that, or they feel that they won't make it because there's a lot of songs that they won't do because they go past the era. So they go, well, we may not get as much attention drawn to us or a bigger crowd if we don't do these songs. Take a gamble. If you're really wanting to present a vintage, bombastic Kiss, by the time you're done, nobody will care that you didn't do Domino. They won't care.
True. Bob, let me just quickly shift gears. I'm really interested to know your opinion on this. So in one of your quotes, you were saying, Kiss 2.0, hell no. Okay? So why do you say that?
because to me, when I think Kiss, I'm not just thinking about the makeup and the songs. I'm also thinking about the magic that they had back in the day. Okay. You had no idea what any of those guys looked like. You even saw a picture of one of them's chin unmasked. You know, it's like, oh my God, that's Paul Stanley's chin. They can't recreate the magic that Kiss had back then. So to me, you can put on makeup, come out with new songs and all of that. That's great. But everything has already been done. Yeah. You know, flying through the air, done. A lot of lights that move and do this, Kiss already did that too. Everything that made Kiss magic, nobody can recreate, not even Kiss 2.0. So to me, it's like, that would be me trying to go back and rebuy magic, you know, or thinking that they can give me that magic back. They can't, because trust me, I can find out who you are. In this day and age of the internet, we can find out exactly who you guys are underneath the makeup. There are certain things about Kiss that made Kiss Kiss back then.
So
and you just cannot reproduce that.
So one final quote before we wrap up, and by far, this is my favorite. And I quote, "Had one guy pull up his sleeve, slapping his shoulder pad and telling me, I saw Kiss in 74, 75, 76, and 78. I've got you tattooed on my arm." And I'm thinking, that's not Gene. That's not me. Gene is a 6'2" Jewish man, and I'm a 5'10" black man. That's not me. No. Now, I love that quote. Now, tell me, why is this particular encounter so significant to you?
Because you do. I've had some people look at me. One guy in particular, who we're very good friends now. When I met him, he just looked me up and down like, and I wasn't sure if he didn't like me or if he didn't like because I'm black. And two, you know, again, being here in the South, you know, I went through that whole thing of white people listen to rock music, country music, classical music. Black people listen to black gospel, R&B, and funk. So for me to be a black kid, and even through my high school years, even through my 20s, you're a Kiss fan? You know, not because I'm a Kiss fan, it's because I'm a black Kiss fan. So to have some dude walk up to me, you know, pull up his sleeve and tell me all that, and you don't see any of this. You don't. Right. I was in Birmingham, Alabama, had done a show, stood in front of these people for 2 hours, hot as crap in the middle of summer. I go outside after the show is over to cool off, and I hear somebody go, "Hey, he's black." And I grinned to myself because I'm like, I stood in front of you all for 2 hours. You can see my neck, you can see my stomach, you can see my hands, and for 2 hours you didn't know I was black. I win. For all those people who told me that because I'm black, there's no way I could be Gene Simmons. It's not about your color. It's about you putting that makeup on, putting that outfit on, and becoming Gene Simmons. I don't care if you're from Venezuela, man, or the Czech Republic. It's not about your color.
Exactly.
And I want to get people out of this color thing. That only white people or other people in other countries who are Kiss fans. But here in the United States, you can't be black and be a Kiss fan. You got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
Look at Jay from Larger Than Life. He was the first black person, at least as far as I know of, to imitate portray a Kiss member in a band and do it well, do it very well. But he caught a lot of flack because, black person in white face.
Yeah,
right. J.R. Smalling, before he passed, he hit me up and told me what a good job I was doing. And,
oh, really? Oh, wow.
I had no idea this was going to happen. He just popped up on Messenger and told me he had been watching me for quite a while. And, he said, brother to brother, he goes, good job. He goes, I don't see this. He goes, you are a rarity. He goes, other than, he knows who Jay is too. He said, other than that other young, he called him Young Buck. He said, other than that other young buck, Jay, he goes, but you, he goes, I want to see more of you. And to me, again, that told me, you know what? I must be doing something right. And it has nothing to do with my color.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Beautiful.
Hey, Bob. Like Pask said at the beginning, we needed to have you on this show after we saw your comments on our channel, and we're so glad that we did. So now I'm gonna head to Pask, but in my case, it was such a pleasure, to meet you and to get your stories. The passion that you put on your narrative. It was so amazing, and Pask, on to you, my friend.
Oh no, totally agree, Bob. Your stories really just took us back. It was, I don't know if you can see it in the video. I'm immersed in the stories, and like I was there in the 70s. I was looking at your experiences through your eyes. It was a pleasure to listen to you speak, my friend. A genuine pleasure. Wow. And I also respect your honest and genuine answers. Really respect that.
That's what we need.
Thank you very, very, very much. I am super humbled. And again, this is things like your show and your opinion and the things that you're telling me now. These are the reasons why I do this. It's not about me. It's never about me. It's about the family.
Exactly.
That is exactly what this show is about, the family.
It's a pleasure.
That's right, man. That's right. We're one.
We're
one.
Thank you, my friend.
We are.
And speaking of family, and to the KISS Army, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And remember, never stop rocking. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Thank you, Bob.
The KISS Army Nation podcast has partnered up with Click T-Shop to offer our listeners a high-quality t-shirt with graphic design by Xander Graphics. Check out Click T-Shop at clickteeshop.com.